Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Married at First Sight. This is season 10, and I believe it's episode 12. I hope you guys are doing good today. If you're like me, then you are stuck at the house. I am actually not working right now. Don't know when I'll be working again, so that kind of sucks, but we're going to get through it. But for all of you out there, whether you are working right now, whether you are working from home, I just really hope that you are staying safe, specifically those with any type of pre-existing condition. I really hope you guys are taking care of yourself, and all of us are just trying to stay as positive as possible in these crazy corona times. I really don't know what else to say. I'm just trying to figure it out, just like the rest of you are, I'm sure. But I hope that this little video will help take your mind off some things, if even for a little while. I am at home, so maybe I'll be able to do a lot more videos now that I have a little bit more time on my hands. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But a side hustle will be in effect, because y'all know I don't play about that. So what couple do we want to start with? Well, I have a million notes, so we could start with anybody. I'm just going to scroll here. Let's start with Jessica and Austin. That's always a good feel-good moment. Jessica and Austin are good. We're a couple of weeks away from the decision-making time, so they're speaking with the experts. I know Pastor Cal, but I forgot the other doctor's name. Child, I don't want to get her name wrong, but her. They're speaking to the two experts, and Austin is feeling really good about their relationship. He doesn't know how it could be any better than it already is, and his decision is definitely going to be a yes during decision day. However, Pastor Cal does ask him, if you were to say no, what would be something that would make you say no? And he said, honestly, the only thing that would make him say no is some type of breach of trust. Other than that, there's nothing that he would say no to in regards to Jessica. I think they have weird like bedtimes. He's a night owl, I understand, and she goes to bed early, but even that is not a big deal. There's nothing that would make him say no. For Jessica, she is feeling a little nervous that the L word has not been mentioned, because she feels like she loves him and she has to catch herself, and she really wants to say it. And the doctor, who, now maybe I'm not looking at this right, so y'all tell me. I mean, she's the expert, so she probably would know. But she tells Jessica that she should reveal this to Austin. And I mean, she can, but I don't know if it'll end up being a good thing. I'm not saying that you should hold back your feelings from your partner. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if she does reveal it to him, she needs to be prepared for the possibility of him not saying it. And if she's not prepared for that, then I don't think she needs to mention it. That's just my opinion. I mean, everything is going swimmingly. It's going swimmingly. He's already told you that he doesn't say it that quickly. I've already explained to y'all, I think that we, men and women in general, look at love differently. You also look at love differently based on the relationships that you've been in, based on how those relationships ran. So there's a number of factors in when people say I love you. Now, if you guys are together for 5 years and nobody said it, then that's probably a problem. I would even say 3 years. That's probably a problem. But, or 2 years. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking at it the same way that the expert is. I think that Jessica, if she is going to mention it, she has to be prepared for whatever the answer may be in return. And if it's going to be something that's going to turn her off so much that it may destroy her relationship, I just don't know. I just don't want to see that with them. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about that. But they're doing good overall. And in the end, she actually doesn't end up mentioning it on this episode. She knows that the doctor said she should, but she decides not to, and they move on with the rest of their evening. Now, the next couple that we can talk about, Michael and Mika. Their names popped up in my notes a few times as I've scrolled. So in the beginning, you've got Michael cutting these equal blades of grass. I think he's just joking, but you never really know with Michael. And Mika's just kind of sitting over to the couch like she is just barely tolerating him. She has a look on her face that I've had a couple of times in life, so I understood it. And when they go talk to the experts, they begin to discuss what the issues are. Remember that word tolerating as we talk about this scene. So Michael feels like things are going a lot better than they were before. I'm trying to scroll to my notes. He's starting to see how the two of them may be matched. may be matched, and why the experts felt that those two should be together. He's seeing how their strengths can complement each other, but they also can cause problems. He says that he feels Mika is still pretty guarded. He's trying to be lighthearted with her and have fun, and sometimes he feels like that is not possible with Mika. Let's see what else. He feels he cannot be vulnerable with her. I don't know if I already said that. But Pastor Cal lets him know, because there's been dishonesty in the relationship, when you've been dishonest, you have to work twice as hard to make the other person feel safe enough to be vulnerable with you and to open up with you. So you kind of have to put in the work to make her feel like opening up a little bit more. He does say that he is still committed. So that's pretty much what we get from Michael. Now, over on Mika's side, the expert is just asking her how she's feeling. And Mika said a lot of her frustration just comes from the lies and the embellishments. And you guys, I think we've surpassed embellishments at this point. And I said it in the comments. Y'all were saying that Jamaica trip wasn't going to happen. And I guess we're going to see if it's going to happen or not. But what I don't want to happen is for Michael to reveal to Mika that they are going to an aquarium in Jamaica, Queens, and the Ochos Rios exhibit, where she can look at the dolphins, but she can't touch the dolphins. And maybe he could take her to SeaWorld at some point in time, and then possibly she could touch the dolphins, but she still can't swim with the dolphins, because he tried to get a trip to Jamaica, but Jamaica, Queens ended up being a much better deal. You just never really know what Michael is going to pull at this point, and I think we all can agree with that. But we've surpassed embellishments, and some of this is just outright lying. He has lied about his vehicle mileage on his car. He has not proven to her what he's done for a living. No pay stubs, no job description. She just never really knows what's going on with Michael. I don't know if he's telling me the truth. And that's bothersome. That's really bothersome. And so the expert asked her, with everything that's going on, do you feel like your frustrations have you at the point where you are just there and you're just tolerating it? Because there's a difference between being committed and tolerating. And it gave Mika some pause. And I think that's something that she's been doing for many, many episodes. And I think I've even brought it up, that in her mind, she believes because she's there, she's committed and she hasn't gone home. But really, being committed is the action and putting in the work behind it. And that's what the expert tries to get her to see. And then she asks her, is she a soft space to land? To which Mika realizes that maybe she isn't the softest place to land, and that's maybe something that she should work on. And I've been there too, so I understood where Mika's realization was coming from with that. Sometimes there's just certain things that we put up to protect ourselves and to guard our hearts, and because you've lived a certain life, you kind of have a certain type of exterior, and but when it comes to romance and relationships, there is a certain softness you have to have that I honestly believe that Mika would have if she actually liked Michael. But I told y'all back in episode 3 or 4, she don't like him. I don't believe she likes him, but she says she is still committed. They both say they're still committed. Let's see what's else. Oh, she's committed to going out of her comfort zone and doing a few things. And she knows she needs to do that. So when her and Michael get back together, they compare notes of what they discussed with the experts. Michael says that he would still like more vulnerability with her and like more intimacy, not necessarily sex, because y'all know they can't say that word, but more intimacy with her. And Mika says, well, you need to give me credit for trying, because I did hold your hand. And he was like, yeah, you held my hand, but I still felt like that was a forced action. Well, if I didn't want to hold your hand, I wouldn't have held your hand. I was like, Now, Mika, you asked him his opinion. And he's telling you how he felt about it, but she wants more credit given to the effort that she does put out. So I did try to hold your hand, so you better give me credit for it. And Michael was just like, okay. Y'all know how he get when he started getting frustrated with her. I said, girl, you going to Jamaica, Queens. This trip about to get downgraded. Okay. Another thing, side note, this has nothing to do with nothing, but when I was looking at Mika in the confessionals, when they were, I don't even remember the background, but she had on the denim jacket and her hair was in that puff. Mika is a really beautiful girl. She has these cheekbones that I've wanted to have all my life. I used to be in the mirror like this. I used to want my cheekbones to be like real high, but unfortunately I just ended up with, you know, a little round face. But it's fine. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. But she has those perfectly high cheekbones. Even when she's not smiling, it could probably look like a smile. Her hair is so thick and puffy, and her skin is smooth. Like, oh my gosh, she is such a pretty girl to me. But you know, she just, you know, few adjustments, and not with her looks. I'm talking about like, anyway, with just a few like conversational adjustments. I think she could pull any man she want, honestly. She's a very pretty girl to me, okay, to me, because I know somebody gonna say something. Anyway, let's move on to I guess we can go to Katie and Derek. Let's go there. So this was very, very interesting. I was not expecting to see these type of issues with Katie and Derek at this point, but some of y'all called it. So Katie is giving Derek the side eye while he's pouring wine, and I could tell by her facial expression that she was about to be on some stuff. So she tells Derek, you know, I think that we need to look into making some changes. When you get married, you make changes for the people that you want to be with. And I think both of us could look at making some changes. And Derek is like, okay, go. What are you talking about? She goes in talking about his dreams and how they're not realistic and how he has so many of them, and how she feels like they're not necessarily very adult and they're immature, and she really wants to be with a man. She doesn't want to be with a boy. Now, she's not saying all these things directly to him. Some of them she is, but some she's saying in her confessionals. But she's starting to feel like he's childish in his behavior, and these dreams are childish and they're not realistic. And what do you want more? Do you want me in this family life more, or do you want your dreams more? Now, I want to pause right here. Pause. I understand that there are certain conversations that you have to have before you get married. And married people, chime in if I'm wrong. If I'm calling this situation wrong, please chime in. But I feel like even though you have to have these conversations, there's a way to go about it. And I thought Katie and Derek had already had a conversation very similar to this already. So they're having a conversation, and Derek says, of course, I've told you before that family, having a family and being married to you, my wife, is the most important thing to me. To me, the conversation was over. He already told you what was the priority, but he still also wanted to be able to achieve his dreams in the meantime. So it's family first, and if I can also work on my dreams in whatever spare time I might be able to have, then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. To me, Derek's dreams, I mean, the Christmas song thing, it might be a little silly to some people, but to me, his dreams are not so detrimental and childish enough to where you got to get extra life insurance in case something happened to him, to where he's going to be gone from home, you know, months at a time. I mean, he wants to go backpacking in like 8 different places. That could take some time. But to me, it still did not warrant the reaction I felt like Katie was giving. And married people, like I said, chime in and let me know. Are the type of things that Derek is discussing detrimental to being married and having a family? I'm single, so I know that I look at the future a little bit differently than, well, not single, I'm not married. So I look at the future a little bit differently than a married person probably does. So Katie gets up, she's upset, and she told Derek not to get defensive, but then she got defensive when Derek was explaining, look, these are my dreams. These are what I want to do. And I want a wife that's going to be supportive in my dreams. Yes, I want a family. Yes, I want to do all of those things. But I also want to do, you know, some of my dreams too. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having stuff you want to do in the meantime? If I've got time to do it and I got time to work on it, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that, Katie? Now you go, okay, look. Katie, I have questions. Okay, I have questions. So, but first, I'm gonna preface it with this. So, there are certain situations that I've seen where people have gotten married young, didn't really know what they were doing, and sometimes the male in the situation may do some things that are less than desirable. It might be cheating. It might be, messing up finances. It might be a whole lot of flirtation that could possibly lead to, it might be a number of things, right? And a lot of times in that situation, youth is used as kind of the cover. Like, you don't really know what you got going on. You're a young guy, you still got a lot of running left in you. And a lot of times that's used as kind of, I don't want to say the blanket, but we kind of understand a little bit more with a male or a man getting married at an extremely young, like a 23 or 24, like those type of ages, right? And that's not everybody, that's just some situations. And when it comes to the women, I'd like to reject the notion, yes, we mature faster in body, but I'm not so sure that brain is doing what people think it's doing. And the reason why I say that is because I found myself in places at 23 and 24 and 25 and 26 where you would have thought I knew better, but I really did not know any better than what I was doing and what I was involved in. And I think we mature faster in body, so certain experiences come to us a little bit earlier. I'm not talking about sex. I'm just talking about like your thoughts and your, desire, all of that stuff. That stuff might come on a little earlier. But as far as what we know, not necessarily. And I'm sure a lot of women can relate with being in, men and women, dysfunctional relationships. So Katie, I want to ask you, are you so used to dysfunctional relationships that you're trying to find a problem in yours? Okay, or that you're trying to find an issue in your relationship that really doesn't have that many problems, but you're looking for one. And the reason I say that is because, again, when I didn't know any better, I wasn't doing any better. At 23, 24, I can definitely tell you I was in a dysfunctional relationship and really thought that was how a relationship was supposed to work, how it was supposed to move. A lot of us come from dysfunctional families. A lot of us come from families where marriages and relationships didn't work. And so we did what we learned, and we operate constantly in dysfunction. And I'm wondering if that's what Katie is doing. In addition to that, I think Katie may have a few control issues. I believe that she also has some security issues and believes that if her man is not all about her, then he doesn't care about her. If he pays attention to anything other than her, then she did something wrong and now she has to get the control back. So I'm going to allow you the same understanding that I would give my brother or friend, or a very young guy in a marriage starting out. I'm going to give you that same thing because I do believe that we go through those things in our youth as well. But this is an accountability type channel, so I am going to have to read you a little bit about what you did in regards to your husband. So you get up and you go in your room and you are yelling to him that he needs to grow up and be a man and do. That's one. Now that's a trigger. That is a trigger. You cannot say that to somebody and not expect them to feel like you basically just told them, go ahead and pee sitting down. That's not something that you say to somebody. And so Derek is rightfully upset. And I really don't think he understands completely what went on. Now, again, I'm just going to say that her youth has not provided her the understanding of what a real relationship and a real marriage looks like, that is not in dysfunction, that you don't have to control, and that you could feel secure in. I'm going to allow her that. Now, she could be a spoiled brat, but I'm going to try to look at the positives on it. I really am. And I'm going to try to give her some understanding because I would do it for anybody else. But Auntie JoJo still hold the churn accountable, and you're going to have to do better when you talk to your man because there's plenty of women watching this show and they will take him. All right? I'm just letting you know. All right. So when they go talk to the doctor, Derek is pretty much giving a speech from Pastor Cal about stuff that Derek is already doing. You have to make sure your wife feels like a priority. He already does that. I think Derek already does a very good job in that. Katie is trying to explain to the therapist how she feels, and the therapist is just telling her, well, that is your job to be his support. And I know you feel like you would be faking it, but that's all right. Fake it till you make it because you are his support system. You are his wife. And yeah, I don't see the problem with that. Y'all let me know if y'all did. And so they end up making up, and she ends up telling him that she wants to be there. She wants to support him, but she needs to know that she's the priority. She needs to hear it. And do you know this man looked at her and said, not only do I want you want to be there with you, and not only do I want you to support me, but I want to support your dreams too. You are my priority. Katie, I'm going to just say this and I'm going to leave it alone. I've been noticing some things every time Derek wears those sweatpants and pajama pants. And I'm not a tomcat normally. But if you keep on acting up, I'm going to take your man. All right? And that's a promise. Because he wants you to feel included. He's done everything to make you comfortable. I just think that you need to work on your security. And then she said she doesn't have any dreams. That could also be the problem. You don't have any. Are you a hater? Like, it's so many layers here. But there's dysfunction. Might be a little bit of haterade. Might be a little bit of, well, actually, a lot of insecurity. And some control factors. So if you could just work on your security, which is another thing that does seem to come with age. I'm telling you, age provides you a whole lot of things mentally, a whole lot of mental clarity. It's really a blessing, and it can be a curse too, because it'll F your knees up. But it really is a blessing when it comes to insecurities and working past all of that, because, child, you could walk right up to my face today and tell me I'm ugly, and I'd be like, where? With no hesitation. But let's move on. We got some other couples to do. Mindy and Zach. No, let's go with Taylor and Brandon, then we'll do Mindy and Zach. Taylor and Brandon. Long story short, y'all, they decided that they're going to work it out. When they go meet with the therapist, Brandon has stated continuously what he needs. He just needs to feel he can trust her again to work through this relationship. Taylor says what she needs is... What did Taylor say she needed? I feel like I kind of fast forwarded her part. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that's not good, but I'm just being honest. Oh, she want to see some changes. So when they get together, Brandon decides he's going to move back in, and they both agree that they need to make some changes, and they're going to make the changes. Brandon says in the future, if you feeling some type of way, come talk to me. Don't be outside talking to Snapchat, and I agree. And Taylor just wants to work past it. And she wants to prove to him that she can be a wife to him again. Not just a friend, as she stated before, but a wife to him. So, I guess we're going to see how it goes with the two of them. It really wasn't too much. Taylor is going to get a new wig, so I'm really excited about seeing it. I kind of want to see a shorter style on her. That hair swallows her face, and she has a pretty face. Like, I want to see like a little bob, like a long bob or something. I don't know. I'm kind of impartial to bob, so maybe it's just me, but... We're going to see how their relationship works out, and wish them the best, Charlie, you know. Okay. Lastly, Mindy and Zach. Mindy and Zach, oh, father, be with me. So we know the situation that happened with the friends, right? So Mindy does talk about that to the therapist. The therapist is looking at Mindy like, you a fool if you stay with this man. But she don't tell her that. She basically gives Mindy room to decide what she wants to do. Is this a place that you want to be in? Do you honestly feel like this relationship is going to get better? And I'm yelling at the TV, no, this is not where you want to be. But Mindy says yes. If she can get some clarity on the situation, if she can get him to move in, if she can get honesty from this point forward, and if she can get, what was the other thing she wanted, y'all? More time together and not just on camera, which is sad. Sad. That man has only been spending time with her if they have to film. That's crazy. I'm trying to find my Mindy notes. I probably was so outdone that I don't even have any. Child, I don't know where they are. Okay, here's some. All right. So, then we go in there with Pastor Kyle and Zach. Pastor Kyle says, Zach, it hasn't really been going well. I haven't really seen it out of you. Tell me what it is that you're trying to do. Are you still committed? Zach believes that, yes, he's still committed to the marriage. He still wants to be a husband to Mindy. And I was so glad when Pastor Kyle called BS on the whole thing. It is BS. I don't think he wants to be a husband to her. I don't think he wants to be around her. And in that moment, he had the opportunity to say no. So everybody can miss me with that, oh, he just don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't care about that. Grown people make grown decisions. These people are in their 30s. They are not in their early 20s, not in their late 20s. They are closer to 40 than they are to 25. So, no, I don't want to hear any more of that. He just don't want to do this. He just don't want to do that. I don't want to hear it. That was his out when he was with Pastor Cal, and he should have took it, but he didn't. Mindy should have took her out when she was with Viola, or whatever her name was, and she didn't. So, at this point, I don't see it for either one of them. I don't get it. But they're going to keep trying, you guys, because they didn't come into this process to fail. I'm just like, I wouldn't have came into the process to fail either, but when it's over, it's over. Okay, what you supposed to do? But anyway, Zach says that he's committed to building a positive experience and a friendship. Pastor Cal said, kill all that noise, okay, in Jesus' name. Are you committed to being her husband? And Zach says, do you want to move in? He's stuttering and stammering and carrying on. So when they get back together, they discuss it. Mindy has been told to vouch for herself and to lay out her demands. She gets in there, and at first I didn't think she was going to do it, but she does do it. She asked for the text messages. He deleted all the text messages. Now, he said he deleted them on his own because he wanted to, but last week I think he told us that he deleted them because Lindsay wanted him to. Both of them lying, girl. I wouldn't trust him. I don't trust him. You don't trust him. I'm getting worked up. So she asked him to move in. He said they got to talk about it. He does end up coming over with a little book bag. Okay, it's the same book bag that you got to carry on a Spirit flight that can fit up under your seat. You can't put nothing in there. He got like 2 shirts and a pair of socks and some toiletries. And just when you think he's about to spend the night in the bed with his wife, Mindy all giddy, this fool go sleep in the other room. Again, everybody had their out this episode. Everybody had it. And for whatever reason, you can't tell me they're not getting it's got to be for a check. I don't understand this level of embarrassment without being paid. That's the only thing I can come up with. So that's what I'm going with. There's got to be money at the end of this rainbow. This very embarrassing rainbow for the 2 of them. And Mindy just sitting there looking all sad and defeated. Girl, y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good day. This episode was just... I'm rooting for Jessica and Austin. Nobody else. I'm done. I'm done. Because some folks is determined to sabotage their own relationship. Katie. 2 people, I don't even understand why they're still here. Zach and Mindy. The other 2 people, I believe both of them a little crazy. Taylor and Brandon. And, Mika and Michael, I've been told y'all. Why? We only here for Jessica and Austin. Y'all have a good one. And I'll see y'all for another video a little later on. Bye.